Told you he was confident. Joining me this week is former Arsenal midfielder Paul Merson and former Manchester United midfielder Quinton Fortune. Now, after another international break, the Premier League is back, and that means focus returns to the title race, with Arsenal currently top, 1 point clear of Liverpool, who have lost 3 games in a row in all competitions. Gents, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming in. So lovely to see you both. Paul, I'll start with you. I mean, is this such a crucial period for clubs, in between the 2 international breaks?
I think so. It's how you come back. I remember last season when Liverpool only lost 1 game at home last season to Nottingham Forest. It was after an international break. And then they went on a mad run. Yeah, it's different. We know when you come back from international breaks, not a lot of time to work on stuff. Are players fit? Are they not? I think this is a massive... Arsenal have had probably one of the hardest starts in Premier League history. They're sitting top of the league. Now they've got to make it pay. Yeah,
well, that's it. I mean, you look at last year, right, in comparison, out of 12 points, Arsenal gained 2 points in this period. Liverpool took 10. So it was huge in terms of the title race. Do you think, Quinton, do you agree that this is Arsenal's chance to really kind of push forward and make a marker?
Well, it's been Arsenal's thing the last couple of seasons. They've been doing well. They've been pushing. They've been getting second. And I'm sure with every manager, you have like blocks of the season. And I'm sure Arteta will be looking at this 4 games coming up, looking at the teams playing and set the target for the team and go, look, we can win these 4 games. Yeah. And it's there for them now. It's not like teams that you're playing United, you're playing tough teams. There's teams they can beat. And no disrespect to those teams, but Arsenal, with the quality they have now, they should be winning those games.
OK. Well, this morning I was on Merseyside to sit down with both Virgil van Dijk and Arne. Liverpool are, of course, hosting their bitter rivals Manchester United on Super Sunday as they look to put an end to a run of 3 consecutive defeats in all competitions.
If they were to win this game, it would be the first time since Amorim arrived that they've won back-to-back Premier League games. That is astounding. And at Real Madrid, they would sack you, call you back and sack you again. But at Manchester United, he's got the time. I think they go into this game with a lot of confidence that Liverpool should be wary of them.
Yeah, there's a poor guy who's going to have Rapunzel-like locks because he said when United win 5 in a row, he's going to cut his hair.
He's probably there going, for the love of...
The 3 years comment, which did happen during this international break from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, what did you make of those? I thought it was saying patience and we can't just judge him. I don't know that there was a promise that he's definitely going to be given 3 years, but in an ideal world, he will be and he should be.
I think in some ways it's refreshing because I think we're in a place whereby managers are just, I'm sure we'll touch on it down the line, but we just churn through managers and they become the scapegoat and some things are said and put out there are very unsavoury. I'm surprised how patient they have been. But at the same time, I think there is an understanding that, well, since Ratcliffe's come in, there's been a lot of change at the football club. There's a big focus on the finances and sustainability and changes. Some have been popular, some not so much. He's choosing to keep with the manager, and I think in some ways, coming out and saying that outwardly, it helps people at home, people that weigh in, people that want to sort of lean into the media and try and put pressure on. He's saying, I'm not bothered by that. I'm not going to listen. He's the person I want, and I'm going to make that decision. So that's it. I think it's a good thing for that reason. Whether he is the guy, his results haven't been hugely impressive so far.
Well, the win over Sunderland was critical, of course. Let's look at Manchester United's next couple of fixtures just to see what lies in store for them. No game, as we always say, is easy in the Premier League, but there should be some that they would be expecting to win in that run?
No. No. And I don't want to be disrespectful about Manchester United because obviously it's a good thing that Sir Jim has come out and backed Rúben. But I look at all of those games and in all of those teams there are goal scorers. There are players who can hurt the lack of concentration in that Manchester United back line. And I think, yeah, we talk about Liverpool's defensive failings, but they have players who can win games on their own. Look, 3 at the back, for me, I defer to your greater knowledge, but it simply is not what Manchester United play. Manchester United are an attack-minded side who are at their best with 4 at the back. So you have the extra player who can attack the opposition. And as long as they stick with that, Amorim will be under pressure.
Interesting when you mentioned 3 at the backs, and Crystal Palace is also in that run. They'll be able to see firsthand.
How to do it properly.
You said it, not me. Okay, now Ruben Amorim has been speaking about the importance of winning the next game and how long it might take to reach Liverpool's level of success.
We can win any game. So if we think about just winning the next game, that is the most important thing. We can win the next game. If we are winning, if we are going to fight and to be at the same level of Liverpool in the future, that is the idea. I don't know how long it is going to take.
Yeah, very, very tough. And I think, honest from him at the moment. There are some signs for positivity, though, because Benjamin Šeško, for example, is one of those players who's new into the league and he's now scored in back-to-back games. That's good for them.
He's doing well. And I think when you look at United, a lot of teams now play them with a little bit of confidence, and so at times can be quite open. And I think he's a great person to be in that 9 because I think he does have the attributes where you can play up to him, you can play off him. And he's found his sort of rhythm in terms of actually getting goals. That was a great finish. So I think that's a huge advantage that they do have him, and he does seem to have a little bit of form, and he's got big presence.
When you're a centre-back and you play against him, and he is so big, but he is good, he knows where to pick up good positions. And Julie, you were talking about the fact that Konaté's confidence is a bit fragile at the moment. What do you do as a centre-half when you've got to cope with somebody like Šeško?
Well, you've got to try and I think someone like Konaté and Van Dijk both physically will feel like they can compete with his size.
Right.
So I think that will be interesting because I think that might be a little bit of cat and mouse throughout the game. If I was him, I probably would put myself on Konaté a little more, given he's made a few little mistakes and maybe you can get something out of that. The physicality, though, in that game, I think he's able to compete with that. So if United can drop balls in that are not overhit, anything overhit that's just up for challenge will likely be the defenders because that favours them. But he's got the stature where you can drop it into him. And the only way they can get the ball back from a Liverpool perspective is to foul. So United have to just be clever and give him the opportunity to grow into the game. Yeah. If he's not getting any service, to expect him to contribute and create chances and get a goal will be really tough. But if he can get into the game and he can help the United move forward and progress through the thirds, then I think they'll get opportunities.
What's another interesting factor about this game is the 2 goalkeepers. Yeah. So, of course, Sena Lammens featured against Sunderland, kept a clean sheet, and Mamardashvili is going to play because Alisson is injured.
Mamardashvili, of the 2 goalkeepers, is the more confident for me and the more capable. Sena Lammens has got a big reputation. Thibaut Courtois was talking about him during the international break and was speaking of him very, very highly indeed. But I don't care who you are, to come in and have to face the likes of Isak, Ekitike, Salah, and if he were to go back to basics and maybe go with some of the tried and trusted players and maybe drop the likes of Wirtz and go back to a formation that has suited him last season, it could be a very, very difficult afternoon for Lammens. And let's not kid ourselves, not just media. Sometimes people say the media will give him a hard time. We are Planet Football. Everyone is on social media. Everyone has an opinion. In real time, there is huge pressure on whoever keeps goal for Manchester United. And for Lammens to have to deal with the threat that Liverpool pose up front. 99 goals in 45 games under Arne's slot. The next one's going to be there. Well, it's obvious that one.
Mr. Statman.
Teach everyone how to count. But, they do know where the goal is. For all their defensive frailties, they do know where the goal is, and that's why it's going to be a difficult afternoon for the keeper.
Love to see you. Virgil, thanks so much for sitting down, mate. Over the international break, do you get a rest? Are you able to just relax a little bit?
Less than the ones before, but that has, of course, to do with us losing 3 games.
We can't deny that those 7 days were quite difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult to deal with at that particular point, but that's the life we live.
You mentioned the defeats that you've had. Now that you've had that time to reflect, are you viewing them differently? How do you view them now?
Fixture list didn't really help us. 3 away games, 3 tough away games. But this is what can happen in the season of football. And then in these 3 tough away games, we were maybe a bit unlucky as well that we've conceded twice in the last minute and conceded a penalty. But I say many times we should not depend on these little margins. Does the referee make a decision in our favour, yes or no? Does the other team score in the last minute? We have to find a way of making the difference between the teams we face and us bigger in our favour, so that you don't depend on luck or bad luck, because we've depended a few times on luck, if you want to call it luck, with us scoring in the last minute.
There was a lot of pundit reaction to the end of the Palace game and certainly the end of the Chelsea game about, I guess, the manner of the match. You know, some people saying it got a bit chaotic at times. You know, on that reflection, do you look at that? Would you have done maybe something different to what did happen in those games?
No, I completely agree with the pundits. One of the things here in England is that I like, in general, the opinion of the pundits, because they are well informed. They just look over and over again, and then they give their opinion instead of just saying something which can happen as well. But I don't see this a lot over here. Both games we were close to winning it as well, maybe even closer to winning it than to losing it. But yeah, the downside of making so many offensive substitutions coming back into the game, which we twice did, is that you can be vulnerable, for example, against Palace with a set piece, making offensive substitutions. But we've won a lot of times by us doing this, and it's better to win one than to have two draws.
And look, you've had a lot of new additions to the squad this season. A lot of chat around price tags, especially around someone like Florian Wirtz as well. I mean, how do you as captain approach a situation like that with a new player like Flo?
Well, first and foremost, I think the main thing is that when new players are coming in, as when I came in, for a lot of money, is that you feel welcomed, you feel calm, everything, your home situation is sorted, your family is happy. And if that is good, then you'll be able to excel. But obviously we live in a world where it's difficult to get time from the outside world, but as long as we and Liverpool are looking in the way that I'm looking at it, and we want to improve and we want to get better, then I'll be absolutely fine.
He could have been on 6 or 7 assists already.
Yeah.
If you look at the passes he's played towards his teammates, which unfortunately didn't lead to goals. One of the greatest examples is the Chelsea game, where after 1 minute he had this great flick to Mo Salah.
Little flick outside,
where for Mo this is 99 out of 100 time a goal.
Goes in,
I have to say 98 out of 100 time, because the last time he got a ball like this was against Atletico Madrid. He got the one from Florian Wirtz, but Mo hit the post. But in general, I think for a 21, 22-year-old, it's quite normal that you have to adjust to going to a no country, let alone if you go to the Premier League. I think maybe I'm now underestimating one or two other players, but maybe the best midfielder that has ever played in the Premier League. Who would that be in your opinion?
I mean, Steven Gerrard's up there, obviously.
But that came in from another country. So
Patrick Vieira, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I have to say.
You're an Arsenal. Then you're on the wrong couch, by the way.
That's why this is nice. We're building bridges here.
I think Kevin De Bruyne would be my pick.
Of course, Kevin,
And as we all know, I think he was 21, 22 when he went to Chelsea.
Massive game coming up this weekend. I say it's, every game is massive, obviously, in the Premier League. But Liverpool against Man United, there's so much history there. Is there a different feeling around the club?
Everyone understands the importance of the game.
Yeah.
I could say it's a game on its own. Doesn't really matter in what kind of form any team is. We've been through phases already, and especially the years that I've been at the club, that maybe I felt like we can have them, and obviously we drew twice last 2 seasons, or we played away and we got knocked out in the FA Cup. That was pretty tough.
Yeah.
So there are always games that, it's always difficult. Doesn't matter the circumstances. We have to be ready for any big fight.
Big memories of the game last year, 2-2 at Anfield. And man of the match that day was Bruno Fernandes. And now he's kind of almost playing in that little bit of a deeper role. Are you happier having him further away from goal? How do you view his new kind of position this season?
I'm happier if he doesn't play. Because I just said Kevin De Bruyne, and I think that's still a fair choice to make. But Bruno Fernandes is definitely also up there when it comes to foreign players that came to this league and have had a lot of impact. So he's been so important for United in every position he plays. So Ruben Amorim is the one who's managing now, and he's the one that knows what's best for him and for the team, and it's not up to me where he should play.
And finally, I have to ask, obviously, that Liverpool Man United rivalry has always been there, and it's currently sitting at 20 Premier League titles each. I mean, how much of how much of that ambition is in you to take a team to that 21st title?
I'm not looking in it in that way, to be absolutely honest with you.
Yeah, of course.
I've obviously experienced last year how special it was to lift it as the captain, but I know how difficult it is to do that.
Virgil, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
Good luck at the weekend.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be a fascinating watch on Sunday. But gents, let's talk Liverpool. I mean, Florian Wirtz, he's got off to quite a tough start to life in the Premier League, hasn't he, Quinton?
It's, I mean, when I look back now at young players, talented players coming to the Premier League, it's not easy. People think, you know, he's done well in Germany. The Premier League is a completely different beast. The tempo, the physicality of the game, the pace of the game is so quick. We know he's talented, but I think just need to give him a little bit more patience, be patient with him. The talent is there. I see one of his passes during the week, one of the best passes I've seen in the Premier League for a while, with his little back heel. But it takes time. Ronaldo, when he came to United, everything didn't go well for him. But look at this pass. This is just, it shows you there's something there. So it takes time for some players to come into the Premier League and adapt, and I have no doubt he's got the ability to do it.
I was going to say, does that just show, you know, Paul, the fact that literally it could be on a knife edge, you know, fine margins can all of a sudden turn you into the best player in the league?
Oh, 100%. If Salah goes and scores that goal, and then we're all going on about he gets confidence, you don't become a bad player overnight. He was bought for over £100 million. I've watched this player a lot of times. He's a brilliant football player. It's just trying to get him the ball. It's so tight in there. The problem is when you watch German football, the game gets so opened up so quickly. It's so expansive. Like the worst team in Germany will go to the best team in Germany and have a go. Yeah. And that's why they win 6 and 7-0. Over here, Liverpool kick off and 10 people sit behind the ball and there's no room for him. Yeah. You know, sometimes I say put him out on the left, put him in that little pocket, you know, where he can play where he's going to be hard to pick up. But they went and done that against Palace, which probably wasn't the right move. Palace are very good at the moment. So at the moment, when I watch Slot's teams, and I think this is going to go on for a while, I ain't sure he's going to know what his best team is for a long time yet. And
that's what a lot of people are talking about. Is this just a small blip, or is this something bigger? Because you can look at it and you can say, you know, Galatasaray away, that's a tough game. Crystal Palace has been amazing this season. I mean, Quinton, what have you made of them as a whole this season?
I mentioned before, and it's a strange one because I think people shouldn't forget that Liverpool gone through a tough period. They lost one of their teammates. Yeah. And you don't know what plays on the mind of players. Of course, they bring in new players, they need to adapt. But when you lose a teammate so close, and that's tough to deal with. So I think some players still probably dealing with that. New players coming in. I think it's just a blip. And if they have such a blip and they're still second in the league, I think it's not too bad. But of course, the standards they've set now at Liverpool, they expect to win every game.
Exactly. Well, it is so high. It's like any drop point is bad at the minute. But go on then, Paul. Isak is now the point where we can finally start to judge him in a Liverpool shirt? Because I know obviously he didn't get that pre-season, but now he's playing 2 90-minute matches back-to-back for Sweden.
Yeah, and it'll be difficult for him. It's a step up, no disrespect to Newcastle. I thought he was outstanding at Newcastle. Teams have a go at Newcastle. Teams will go to St James's Park, have a go, open the game up, you know, and have a go. Here again, you sit 10 behind the ball. You know, it's all right having the best players in the world. You have I heard Tuchel say it last week. Yeah. It's all right having the best players. I'm looking for the best team. And it's our players gel. You look at Liverpool over the years, the best 3 they probably had was Mane, Firmino, and Salah. Because Firmino would come and he would drop off, he'd knit everything together, and then you had them 2 making them runs inside. And Salah scored 1 million goals. Now all of a sudden Isak's up front. Salah don't really come back. He stays up front. You know, they all stay up front, the 3. Where do you make them runs? There's no channel runs anymore.
Do you think they've got an issue with getting Salah back into form, realistically? Because it's kind of been a bit up and down. I know he still scores goals, but we're not seeing the same Salah yet that we saw last season.
I don't think we will. I don't. And I think that was because of Trent Alexander. I think the Trent Alexander Sal doesn't help Salah. Because when you've got Trent Alexander picking the ball up at right back, you have to go and engage in him. If you're a left-handed sided midfield player, you have to go and engage because he will destroy you with his passes. I haven't seen anything like it, if I'm being honest, his passing. Now all of a sudden you have to engage, then Salah, and then Trent Alexander gives the ball to Salah and he's 1v1, and then it's good night. Or Trent gets the ball, Salah makes a run inside, and he will find him. Now all of a sudden the fullback gets the ball at the back now for Liverpool, and they go, you can have it. You can have that. Go on, hurt us. We'll double up on Salah, and you hurt us. And the fullback can't hurt you like Trent Alexander. There's no one like Trent Alexander, in my opinion, in the world of football.
Yeah, but Quinton, what have you made of Szoboszlai taking that right-back role then?
We spoke about this before. It's a wonderful player. I think any team would have him in the Premier League, but to put him in the right-back position, it's a tough one to ask. In his position, he's fantastic. But like you mentioned, he's not Trent Alexander. In that position, teams can deal with him from there. He probably... and I would think about Liverpool, the size of their club, surely they've got to have a right back there. I mean, maybe not the level of Trent Alexander, but they've got to have someone there that can do the job and put Szoboszlai up in a natural position. But that still confuses me why he's in that position.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, you said about obviously, it takes time and it will happen at some point potentially for Liverpool. How long are you kind of giving them to make up that time? Are we talking December? Are we earlier? When do you reckon?
Well, they need to make it quickly because I think Arsenal, I just don't see who's going to beat Arsenal. I honestly don't. I think the day when they played Liverpool away at Anfield and Szoboszlai got the absolute worldie of a goal, I'm sitting there watching that game thinking, this is the most comfortable I've ever seen an Arsenal team at Anfield. Yep. And obviously he scores that goal and then it's, Arsenal going nowhere. Arsenal didn't lay a glove on them. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're playing against the best team in the country, have scored in every game they played in, haven't lost since September at home. And I'm looking at that game thinking, who's ever going to beat Arsenal with their team? And I think it's got to start. I think you could take 8 points off Liverpool. People will go, they haven't started, great teams win games when they're not playing well. They haven't played well from the first day of the season. Yep. Last kick of the game, Burnley, 2 points. Last kick of the game, Newcastle, 2 points. The Arsenal game, it was only in a worldy goal, bar that never looked like scoring. There's points, that have gone. They'll be looking at it in a positive way of going, we haven't played well and we're 1 point behind, but they need to start playing because they could be 4 points behind before they play.
Is that the thing of champions, though? Do you know what I mean? Is that the thing of, it can be two sides, right? It can either be they're playing in that champions form and they're not playing well but still getting the results.
I know a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the overall game, I saw the Palace game a few weeks ago, and they were struggling. And I've seen, oh my goodness, Palace could have had 3 or 4 goals the first half. And I know people say, when you're not playing well, you're getting results. You have to look at the whole game, and it doesn't look good for Liverpool at the moment. But they got a little big game coming up this weekend.
Massive game.
Let's see.
Yes, what a game in prospect it is then on Super Sunday as England.
Liverpool and Manchester United are set to renew their legendary rivalry at Anfield on October 19th, 2025, in what promises to be one of the highlights of the Premier League weekend. The match kicks off at 16:30 BST, with both sides eager to regain momentum after inconsistent spells. Liverpool enter the clash under some pressure. Arne Slot's team have gone 3 games without a win in all competitions and are looking to steady the ship after a difficult run of results. Despite recent setbacks, Anfield remains a fortress. The Reds are unbeaten in their last 10 home league games against United, with 5 wins and 5 draws in that stretch. Yet defensive concerns persist. Alisson Becker is still sidelined due to injury, so Georgi Mamardashvili is expected to continue in goal. Ibrahima Konate is doubtful with a thigh problem, while Ryan Gravenberch has a minor muscle issue but should be fit to feature. Manchester United arrive in slightly better spirits after a much-needed victory over Sunderland before the international break, but questions remain about their consistency, particularly away from home. United have yet to win an away league match this season. Manager Ruben Amorim is under growing scrutiny as his side struggles to find rhythm. There are some positive updates, though. Right back Nusayr Mazraoui is close to full fitness, while Bruno Fernandes's availability will depend on his recovery after missing training with fatigue following international duty. Tactically, Liverpool will again look to Mohamed Salah to make the difference. The Egyptian forward has been a constant menace for United, scoring 9 goals in his last 7 appearances against them. With Darwin Núñez and Alexander Isak offering pace and pressing up front, Liverpool are expected to push high and dominate possession. United, meanwhile, will rely on Bruno Fernandes's creativity and Marcus Rashford's speed in transition. Amorim's side will likely try to soak up pressure and counter quickly, but containing Liverpool's fluid attack at Anfield will be a major challenge. Most prediction models favor Liverpool, giving them around a 65 to 70% chance of victory. The Reds' attacking strength and home advantage make them clear favorites, though United's counter-attacking potential could make for an open game. A scoreline of 3-1 or 2-1 in Liverpool's favor appears the most likely outcome, with both teams expected to find the net. In what is always one of English football's most intense fixtures, Anfield is ready for another passionate, high-energy battle. Liverpool's form at home and their attacking firepower could prove decisive once again as they look to reassert themselves against their oldest rivals.